killed your wife. A jury of 12 convicted you.
A white jury that did not have any black jurors on there, and that's not law. That is a setup. So you want to send me out there, I go out there, but you know what the law is, and you haven't followed it. And neither has you, and neither has you.
All right.
Everybody sat here and
Hear
stood
me
there.
out. Shut up.
I'm not going to shut up while
Get
you're
him
talking
out of
about
here.
that. Get me out of here. You don't gotta go.
I want to apologize to these.
It's not racism. He's a criminal. Convicted killer Adam Benefield put on quite the show today in court, but his antics won't keep him from spending the rest of his life staring at the inside of a jail cell. The criminal in 2022 tracked down his estranged wife, Aira Hudson, and shot her in the head in front of her 3 children. Aira's mother says this monster should never again walk free.
She posted the video because she wanted people to see what was happening to her. Not after the murder. Before it, Aira Hudson showed the world the violence she was surviving. Her family said she had been sending videos, texting relatives, going to police stations, and giving out her phone password just in case. She was not silent. She was not careless. She was not ignoring the danger. She was documenting it. But days after that disturbing video appeared online, and less than 24 hours after Adam Benefield was released from court with an order of protection telling him to stay away, Aira put on a bulletproof vest to take her children to school. Her mother asked her why. Aira's answer was almost prophetic. Because, Mom, he's going to kill me. You don't understand. Minutes later, at the corner of Richlawn Avenue and Shawnee Avenue in Buffalo, a pickup truck slammed into her vehicle. Adam Benefield got out, walked toward her SUV, and shot her with a shotgun while her 3 children were inside. This was not a case where nobody saw the warning signs. Aira left them everywhere. And still, by the next morning, she was gone. Before we go deeper, if you believe stories like Aira's should never be ignored, take 1 second to like this video, subscribe to Dark Trace Crime Stories, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from. Because this story is not just painful, it is infuriating. And as we walk through what happened, remember this. Aira did not stay silent. She tried to survive. Aira S. Hudson was a mother. She was 30 years old. She had 3 young children who depended on her. Family remembered her as loving, protective, and deeply connected to her children. She was the kind of mother who thought about their safety before her own comfort. The kind of mother who, even while afraid, still got up in the morning to do what mothers do, prepare the kids, get them ready, and keep life moving. But behind that strength, there was fear. Not the kind of fear that comes from an argument. Not the kind of fear that passes after a bad day. This was the kind of fear that made her give family members her phone password. The kind of fear that made her record what was happening. The kind of fear that made her put on a bulletproof vest before leaving the house. And that is where this story becomes unbearable. Because Aira was not confused about the danger around her. She saw it clearly. Aira had married Adam R. Benefield Sr. in February 2022. At first, from the outside, it may have looked like a love story. A woman marrying someone she had known. Someone she believed loved her. Like many people do, she shared happy moments online. She seemed hopeful. She seemed excited about the future. But sometimes, the most dangerous relationships do not look dangerous at the beginning. Sometimes they begin with smiles. With promises. With family photos. With posts that make people believe everything is fine. Then the mask starts to slip. By September 2022, Aira and Adam were estranged. And behind closed doors, the situation had reportedly become violent. On September 28, 2022, just 1 week before she was killed, police said Adam Benefield attacked Aira inside their Cheektowaga home. According to prosecutors, he punched her. He kicked her. He displayed a knife and a box cutter. He prevented her from leaving. He took her cell phone so she could not call for help. Imagine that room. A woman trying to escape. A man blocking the exit. Weapons visible. A phone taken away. Her ability to call for help cut off. That is not just an argument. That is control. That is terror. That is a warning sign screaming in every direction. And Aira knew it. She was not sitting quietly hoping it would disappear. She documented what was happening. She told family. She went to police. She tried to make people understand that this was not over. Her sister later said Aira had been going to police stations, texting relatives, sending videos, and giving out information just in case something happened to her. Just in case. Those 3 words tell you everything. Because when a woman starts preparing people for the possibility that she may not survive, she is not being dramatic. She is reading the danger around her. Before Kuera was killed, there was a video. And this is where her story becomes even more disturbing. Because sometimes, when a victim has no other way to make people understand the danger, she turns the camera on. Not for attention, not for drama, not to embarrass anyone, but because evidence can speak when people refuse to listen. Kuera had reportedly posted a video on social media showing Adam Benefield beating her. According to her family, the video was disturbing. It showed the violence she had been living through. It showed the part of the relationship that outsiders do not always see. The part that happens behind doors. The part victims are sometimes too afraid to talk about until they have proof in their hands. And once that video went up, people saw it. Her family saw it. People online saw it. The community saw it. Her ex-boyfriend, Andrew Hodge, later said that when the video was posted on Facebook, everybody saw it, and everybody was trying to help her. But that is what makes this case so painful. Because the video did not save her. It showed the danger. It exposed the abuse. It made people aware. But awareness was not enough. Kuera was still moving through fear in real time. Her sister, Montasha Jeter, said Kuera had been trying to get help. She had been going to police stations. She had been texting family. She had been sending videos. She had even given out her phone password just in case. Just in case. Those 3 words are chilling. Because that is not how a woman talks when she feels protected. That is how a woman talks when she believes something terrible may happen, and she wants people to be able to unlock the truth if she cannot speak anymore. Imagine watching her move through those final days. She is not just scared. She is preparing. She is sending proof. She is leaving a trail. She is making sure someone can access her phone. She is trying to build a record strong enough that nobody can say, "We didn't know." And still, the danger kept closing in. The cruelest part is that social media became both a warning bell and a witness. The video showed people what Kuera was surviving. The messages showed she was reaching out. The phone password showed she was thinking ahead. But none of it could physically stand between her and Adam Benefield when he came for her the next morning. That is the haunting truth of this case. Kuera did not disappear quietly into violence. She left signs everywhere. On phones. In messages. In videos. In conversations with family. In reports to police. In the fear that made her stay with her mother. And finally, in the bulletproof vest she put on before taking her children to school. By then, the warning signs were no longer hidden. They were public. They were visible. They were screaming. But less than 24 hours after Adam Benefield was released, Kuera was dead. After the September 28th assault, Adam Benefield was charged. The charges included misdemeanor assault, criminal mischief, menacing, unlawful imprisonment, and harassment. A court issued an order of protection. On paper, that order was supposed to create distance. On paper, it was supposed to keep him away from Kuera. On paper, it said he could not come near her. But paper does not stop a determined killer. And on October 4th, 2022, Adam Benefield was released. He was not held in jail. Because under the charges filed at the time, prosecutors said the offenses were considered non-qualifying for bail under New York law. So he walked out. Kuera was still alive that day. She was still breathing. Still trying to protect her children. Still trying to make it to the next morning. But she was terrified. And her fear was not hidden. Her family said she had been staying with her mother because she believed Adam would come for her. That night, there was no peace. Imagine being Kuera. You know he is out. You know he has already hurt you. You know he has ignored your boundaries before. You know a piece of paper says he must stay away, but you also know violence does not always respect paperwork. So you prepare. Not because you want attention, because you want to live. The morning of October 5th, 2022, began like any school morning should. Children getting ready. A mother preparing to drive them. The familiar rush of breakfast, clothes, bags, and time. But there was one detail that made this morning different. Kuera put on a bulletproof vest. Her mother reportedly asked her why. And Kuera's answer was chilling. She said in essence that Adam was going to kill her. Think about that moment. A mother looking at her daughter, a daughter putting on body armor just to leave the house. Children nearby, waiting to go to school. And the air filled with a fear so heavy that everyone could feel it. Kuera was not guessing. She understood the risk. She had already survived one violent incident days earlier. She had already reported it. She had already obtained legal protection. And still, that morning, she dressed like someone preparing for an attack. Because deep down, she knew the danger had not ended. It was following her. At around 8:30 a.m., Aira was driving with her 3 children in the vehicle. They were near Richlawn Avenue and Shawnee Avenue in Buffalo. A regular intersection. A regular morning. People going to work. Children heading to school. Life moving forward. Then Adam Benefield appeared. He was in a pickup truck. And according to prosecutors, he intentionally crashed into Aira's vehicle. That impact was not the end. It was the beginning. He got out. He approached her SUV. And in front of her children, he shot her with a shotgun. Aira died there at the scene. Her children survived physically. But they saw everything. They saw the crash. They saw the approach. They saw the weapon. They saw their mother's final moments. There are some crimes where the cruelty is hard to put into words. This is one of them. Because Aira was not alone in that car. Her children were there. The very people she was trying to protect became witnesses to the moment she was taken from them. And that bulletproof vest, the thing she wore because she feared for her life, could not save her. At this point, pause for a second and ask yourself, if a woman is so afraid that she wears body armor to take her children to school, how much more obvious does danger have to be? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe enough was done to protect Aira before that morning? And if you have not subscribed yet, join Dark Trace Crime Stories, because we cover the cases that force people to pay attention. After the shooting, Adam Benefield fled. Now the same man Aira had feared was no longer just a domestic violence suspect. He was wanted for murder. Buffalo police, Cheektowaga police, and other authorities searched for him. His face spread across reports. The community was on edge. But for Aira's family, the damage was already done. They were not waiting to see if she would survive. They were planning life without her. A mother had lost her daughter. A sister had lost her sister. 3 children had lost the woman who had tried to protect them until the very end. About a week later, on October 12, 2022, Adam Benefield was taken into custody. He was charged with second-degree murder, aggravated criminal contempt for violating the order of protection, and 3 counts of endangering the welfare of a child. Those child endangerment charges matter, because prosecutors understood something the world already knew. Aira was not the only victim that morning. Her children were victims too. They were not physically struck by the shotgun blast, but they were placed inside a nightmare no child should ever witness. After Aira's death, one question kept coming back. Could this have been prevented? Her family believed she had asked for help. They believed the warning signs were there. They believed Adam should not have been free that morning. And when you look at the timeline, it is hard not to feel the weight of that question. Aira's family later filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the town of Cheektowaga and its police department, accusing them of failing to properly charge Adam after the earlier domestic violence incident and failing to keep him behind bars. The town and police department did not comment on the pending litigation, but the lawsuit itself shows how deeply her family believed the system failed her. And whether people debate the legal technicalities or not, one fact remains impossible to ignore. Aira said she was in danger. The next morning, she was dead. The criminal case moved forward. And in November 2024, more than 2 years after Aira was killed, Adam Benefield went to trial. The trial lasted 3 days. Prosecutors presented the evidence. They showed the timeline. They showed the violence that came before the murder. They showed the order of protection. They showed what happened on that school morning. And one of the most painful parts of the case was that one of Aira's children was strong enough to testify. Think about the courage that takes. A child who had already lived through something unimaginable had to step into a courtroom and help tell the truth about what happened to their mother. After only about 1 hour of deliberation, the jury reached its verdict. Guilty. Guilty of second-degree murder. Guilty of aggravated criminal contempt. Guilty of 3 counts of endangering the welfare of a child. 1 hour. That is how long it took the jury to decide. After all the fear, all the warnings, all the pain, and all the waiting, the truth was finally recognized in court. But justice did not bring Aira back. It did not erase what her children saw. It did not give her mother another morning with her daughter. On December 23, 2024, Adam Benefield was sentenced. The judge gave him 25 years to life in prison, the maximum sentence for the murder conviction. He also received additional sentences for aggravated criminal contempt and the child endangerment counts, served concurrently. In court, the prosecution described the killing as callous and cold-blooded. And it was, because Aira was not attacked in a hidden place where no one would know. She was attacked in public. In the morning, inside a vehicle with her children. After a court had already told him to stay away. There was no confusion about who he was targeting. He went directly for her. And by doing it in front of her children, he left wounds that will last far beyond the sentence he received.
You killed your wife. A jury of 12 convicted
A
you.
white jury that did not have any black jurors on there, and that's not law. That is a setup. So you want to send me out there, I go out there, but you know what the law is, and you haven't followed it. And neither has you, and neither has
All
you.
right.
Everybody sat here and
Hear
stood
me
there.
out. Shut up.
I'm not going to shut up while
Get
you
him
tell me
outta
like
here.
that. Get me out of here. You don't gotta go.
I want to apologize. Unfortunately, under the law, I cannot send him to jail for the rest of his life without any chance of parole. But I will give him the maximum, because if anybody deserves it, he does.
Thankfully, society stripped this felon of all of his freedom. Benefield was also sentenced to 3.5 to 7 years for aggravated criminal contempt. That will be served at the same time as his murder sentence.
When I think about Coera's final morning, I do not just see the crime scene. I see the moments before it. I see a mother getting her children ready. I see her putting on that vest. I see her mother asking why. I hear the fear in her answer. I see her walking out anyway because her children still needed to get to school. That is what makes this case so heartbreaking. Even afraid, she was still being a mother. Even knowing danger was close, she was still trying to keep life normal for her kids. And then, at an intersection in Buffalo, the danger she warned about arrived. Aira Hudson was 30 years old. She should have had more birthdays, more school mornings, more laughter with her children, more ordinary days. Instead, her name became another reminder of what can happen when warnings are heard too late. Her children survived that morning, but they lost their mother in the most brutal way imaginable. And now the world is left with the question Coera's family has been asking from the beginning. Why wasn't she protected before it was too late? If this story touched you, type justice for Aira in the comments. Share this video so more people know her name. And subscribe to Dark Trace Crime Stories for more true crime stories told with truth, respect, and the seriousness victims deserve.